Black would say, surprise, surprise, some Bigfoot sightings in Wintergreen have been debunked.
Oh, there it is. Oh, yep. That thing is back.
They both are equipped with thermal imaging to monitor any of the areas I can't see.
Something terrifying happened at Expedition Bigfoot that made them cancel Season 5. The crew was in the middle of filming when they came across a strange creature in the woods. People were terrified, and the cameras couldn't believe what they were capturing. Could this creature be the reason why the show suddenly stopped filming? Let us dive into this shocking event that changed forever the way the team looked at the work they have been doing all these years. Strange happenings near the stream. Then suddenly everything changed. Russell noticed strange movements near one of their tracking devices by a fast-moving stream. Without wasting any time, he and Mara quickly went to the mainland to check it out. The team had thought for a while that there might be more than one Bigfoot in the area. Some even believed there could be a whole group of them living there. They thought this because of all the clues they had found over time, but what they discovered next really proved their thoughts in a scary way. Before we reveal what they found, it's important to say that nothing could have prepared them for what they saw next, and it would change everything they believed about Bigfoot forever. Above them in the trees and on the ridges, they couldn't see anything, but the thermal camera showed something moving to the right.
Russ, come in. Russell, there is something moving in front of me.
It wasn't in the tree above Ronnie as he thought, but further back on the ridgeline. As Russell and Mara went deeper into the island, they came across a scene like something from a nightmare. There were bones and body parts scattered all over, the ground was soaked with blood, and it looked like something big and dangerous had been there. This terrifying find made the team sure they were on the right track. It also scared them a lot because they had never been so close to something so scary before. Despite their fear, they kept going, moving through the dark and thick woods. The deeper they went, the more creepy it felt. Then they found something that stopped them in their tracks, a huge handprint. This handprint was much larger than a human hand and was pressed deep into the soil. Mara and Russell knew right away this had to be from Bigfoot. There was no other explanation. This was the biggest clue they had ever found, and it made the team very excited. Mara and Russell quickly got in touch with Ronnie, who was still back at Ridges Island. When Ronnie heard what they had found, he was thrilled. He quickly packed up and left Ridges Island to join Mara and Russell. He wanted to see the handprint for himself and help look for more clues. The next morning, the team went back out to look at the handprint more closely. They wanted to see if they could find more signs in the area. They had seen other marks on the ground during their time on the island, but nothing like this big hand-shaped print.
Oh my God. Wait for this.
When Ronnie got to the site, he couldn't believe how big the handprint was. He had never seen anything like it, but there were more surprises waiting for them just a little further into the woods. They found knuckle marks on the ground. These marks suggested that the creature didn't just walk on two legs, but also used its knuckles to move around. This meant that Bigfoot, or whatever was out there, might walk on 2 feet sometimes, but could also move on all fours like an ape. This was a huge discovery for the team and made them even more curious about Bigfoot. They were excited, but also a bit scared. They knew they were getting closer to understanding more about this creature, but they also realized it might be more dangerous than they thought. This wasn't the first time the team had found something amazing. Just last year, Maria had found a massive skull with features that looked like both humans and apes. The skull had a small crack in it, which made Mara think that Bigfoot might be a mix of both. With these new knuckle prints, Mara's idea seemed even more likely. It looked like Bigfoot could walk on 2 legs and also use its knuckles to move on all fours. The team spent a lot of time studying the knuckle prints, trying to figure out what they meant. They believed this was strong evidence that Bigfoot might walk in 2 different ways. But just when they thought they had seen everything, Russell saw something even more surprising. What they saw next was something they never expected, but the truth was about to become even more complicated. 2 sets of tracks found. There were 2 different sets of prints in the dirt. Using a zoom camera and their infrared gear, the team realized these tracks didn't belong to just one creature. They had found evidence that 2 different creatures were on the island. This new finding added more excitement to their search. It suggested that there might be a whole group of these creatures living there, unseen by the world. The discovery of these different sets of prints made the team wonder about the lives of these strange creatures. How many were there? How did they live? What did they eat? The team's findings on the island opened up a whole new set of questions. They were determined to find out more and understand these creatures better. Their adventure on the island was far from over. The more they discovered, the more they wanted to explore. Each new clue brought them closer to understanding Bigfoot, a creature that had remained hidden from human eyes for so long. The team knew their work was important. They were on the verge of possibly making one of the biggest discoveries in the history of wildlife research. The thought of being the first to prove the existence of Bigfoot drove them to keep going, despite the dangers and fears they faced. The discovery ramped up the team's enthusiasm and resolve to push further in their search for definitive proof of Bigfoot. Now, with clear evidence of two distinct creatures on the island marked by different handprints, knuckle marks, and footprints, they felt a renewed vigor. Maria quickly sent all this fresh evidence to Bryce for a more detailed analysis. When Bryce reviewed the handprints, even he was stumped. The prints were not only from two separate creatures, but they were also markedly different from one another. While the team was thrilled with their findings, they understood that their task wouldn't be straightforward.
Right up there.
Oh, over there, over there.
Get them weapons up.
Stay ready, stay ready.
Right over there. Right there.
Right there. I'm not seeing anything.
What the hell is that?
Whoa. What the hell?
They now faced the possibility that multiple Bigfoots existed, each with its unique features. This realization made their search more complicated, but also more exciting. The area they were investigating was vast and densely wooded, complicating their efforts to locate exactly where these elusive creatures might be hiding. However, from the evidence gathered so far, the team believed the creatures were likely moving along the river's edge. The river wound through a valley, forming a natural enclosure that seemed a more manageable area to search compared to the expansive wilderness of the island. Armed with this new theory, the team felt even more driven to uncover the truth behind the strange prints they had found. They thought it likely that these creatures were using the valley as a hiding spot. Although the odds of proving their theory were low, the team was willing to take on the challenge. They believed the creatures were headed east along the river, as the river valley formed a natural bowl, bordered by steep cliffs, which could help trap the creatures inside. With a plan in place, they set out to encircle the creatures within the valley, understanding that the success of their mission depended on not letting them escape. The stakes were high, and they knew they needed to scrutinize every inch of the valley for any hint of movement. If the creatures managed to escape, all their previous efforts would have been for nothing. The valley itself stretched over 20,000 acres and was surrounded by mountains that rose up to 3,000 feet, presenting a tough terrain to navigate. Despite the daunting landscape, the team was determined to push through. As the tension mounted, Bryce's voice came through on the radio, calling out to Mara and Russ. "Mara, Russ, this is Bryce. Do you copy?" Russell responded quickly, eager to hear any new developments. "What do you have, Bryce?" he asked. Bryce's reply sent a wave of excitement through the group. "We're picking up something on the drone's thermal imaging. It appears to be humanoid." With this new piece of information, the team divided into two groups to cover more ground around the valley. Ronnie took the right flank while Russell and Maria took the left. They proceeded with caution, using Bryce's technology to scan the area from above. Their hopes were now pinned on Bryce's drone to help them corner the creatures. Just when they thought they were close to something big, new tools brought in surprising helpers that could take their search to a whole new level. Robots joined the Bigfoot hunt. Suddenly, the search intensified as robots joined the effort. These robots were equipped with advanced technology and were ready to assist in tracking the creatures. It felt like a scene from a science fiction movie, with the team using every available tool to track down these elusive beings.
Hey, Huck. Bill. Yo, come over here. Jeffro found something.
Now, with robots included in their plan, they were prepared to capture even the slightest movement. The drone team began their work, scanning the entire valley from the sky. "There's definitely something moving around down there," one of the drone operators said. "Can we get a closer look with the thermal imaging?" "Yeah, it's moving. There it goes." While the drones flew overhead, the ground team, Ronnie, Mara, and Russ, carefully followed the drones' leads along the riverbanks. Meanwhile, Bryce and the robot team positioned themselves strategically where the streams converged within the valley, ready to detect any movement using the robot's thermal sensors. As they advanced, Bryce's team suddenly detected a fleeting humanoid shape on the thermal sensors deep within the valley. Mara and Russ, not far from the sighting, quickly coordinated with Bryce to steer the drones and robots towards the location. The team felt they were close to discovering Bigfoot, and their excitement grew as they followed the trail leading towards a nearby glacier. On the other side of the valley, Ronnie spotted something unusual among the thick trees. He heard the sound of branches snapping and rustling, but the darkness made it difficult to see clearly. Thinking he might be onto something significant, Ronnie quickly signaled Bryce for backup. Without hesitation, Bryce directed a drone to Ronnie's location. The drone swiftly located a heat source in the area Ronnie indicated. At first, the team wasn't sure what they had found, but soon it became clear they were not alone in the valley. The creature was near, and the hunt was reaching its peak. As Bryce monitored the situation through the drone's thermal lens, he spotted movement about 200 yards from Ronnie's position. Ronnie could hear something stirring in the underbrush, but the dense foliage hid it from view. The team was on edge, knowing they were close to a significant breakthrough. The drone's thermal lens continued to track the rapid movements, but just as the robot approached, the signal vanished. This disappearance left Ronnie even more intrigued and filled with adrenaline. Driven by a surge of excitement, Ronnie dashed into the dense trees, determined to catch a glimpse of the massive creature. As he plunged into the underbrush, the rest of the team waited anxiously, knowing they were on the verge of possibly confirming the existence of Bigfoot. The drone hovered overhead, its thermal lens scanning the area as Ronnie moved deeper into the forest, each step bringing him closer to the hidden truths of these strange island dwellers. Bryce felt a tug of excitement as he sensed they were nearing something big, so he rushed over to where Ronnie was standing. When he arrived, the sight that greeted him was nothing short of astounding. The ground was covered with enormous footprints, a clear sign that Bigfoot had been there just moments before. Nearby, large tree trunks were snapped in half, with gaps of almost 6 feet, suggesting the immense strength and size of the creature.
Yeah, we should be good here in a minute. They just went past us. Once they clear, we'll go ahead and get up.
Ronnie, armed with his thermal camera, was eagerly scanning the dense forest, hoping to catch a glimpse of Bigfoot still lingering nearby. However, the dense trees were blocking the camera's view and making it hard to detect any heat signals from the creature. Just as they were starting to lose hope of finding anything, movement in the nearby bushes caught their attention. Ronnie's heart skipped a beat, thinking he might have finally spotted Bigfoot. However, it turned out to be Bryce, who had just circled back to the same spot. Relieved, the two quickly shared their observations and agreed to continue their pursuit. The entire team was filled with a buzz of excitement, thinking this might be the night they finally prove Bigfoot's existence. With just their flashlights to guide them, Ronnie and Bryce ventured deeper into the dark, spooky forest, following the trail of the legendary creature. As they moved on, the quiet of the snowy area broke, leading them into something much darker and more dangerous than they expected. Clues of a dangerous being. As they pushed on through the challenging terrain, their determination didn't waver. Their efforts soon paid off when they discovered a path that seemed to be frequently used by Bigfoot to navigate through the area. However, as they neared a glacier, the scene before them changed dramatically. The snow was disturbed, revealing the site of a fresh elimination. The snow was soaked with blood, setting a grim scene. The air was heavy with the smell of blood, and the sight of the dead animal confirmed they were now in the territory of a dangerous predator. The team stood frozen, realizing they had walked into the aftermath of a brutal hunt by whatever creature was ruling this part of the forest. The realization struck them. They were no longer the hunters, but the hunted. Despite their fear, they remained focused and began to examine the remains of the elimination. It looked like an elk or a Sitka black-tailed deer had been the unfortunate prey, its ribs violently shattered to get to the marrow inside. This violent scene reminded them of Mara's research on Stone Age humans, who would break bones to extract the marrow for its nutrients, which were vital for brain development. Now, faced with this fresh elimination, they wondered if the creature they were tracking operated on the same basic instincts. It was a chilling thought that they might be dealing with something that hunted not only for food, but also for marrow, showing a level of intelligence and behavior disturbingly similar to early humans. This creature was no ordinary animal, it was smart and crafty. They realized the importance of staying alert. As they investigated further, they saw that the creature didn't just eat the meat, it also consumed the marrow, which was rich in fats and essential nutrients crucial for brain development in early humans. Their investigation led them to a terrifying possibility: they might be dealing with a hybrid creature, part human and part beast. The earlier discovery of volcanic glass in nearby caverns now seemed highly relevant. They hypothesized that, like early humans, this creature could be using sharp volcanic glass to efficiently cut through flesh.
No, right over there.
Right there. I'm not seeing anything.
What the hell is that? Whoa, what the hell?
As they examined the unsettling scene further, it became evident that the manner of the elimination was unlike anything done by familiar predators such as wolves, bears, or large cats. The precise nature of the carcass's condition spoke of intent and planning, hinting at a creature of not only formidable strength, but also sharp intelligence, possibly sharing a distant primal connection with humans. Maria had once shared insights about ancient humans who broke open bones to consume the marrow, a nutrient vital for brain development. This ancient practice struck a chord with Ronnie and Bryce, prompting them to collect bone samples from the site. They planned to analyze these back at their lab, eager to uncover more clues about the creature, which seemed to possess both the cunning of humans and the instincts of a wild animal. They quickly relayed their disturbing discoveries to Maria and Russ, stressing the importance of staying alert. The accumulating evidence suggested that this creature was more than capable of posing a significant danger. Their observations led them to believe that the creature was likely migrating towards the ice-covered highlands above the stream, a place rich in resources and perfect for concealment. But this investigation was about more than just proving Bigfoot's existence. It was about piecing together the behavior and traits of a creature that seemed to straddle the line between humanity and animal instinct. The creature apparently used tools and demonstrated a level of intelligence and sophisticated behavior that was deeply unsettling. Ronnie and Bryce emphasized the necessity of unity and vigilance within the team. Moving forward, they knew they had to approach their research with even more care and precision. This was uncharted territory, and each step brought them closer to potentially groundbreaking discoveries about a being that could redefine the natural order. They planned their next steps carefully, deciding to track the creature's path to understand its movements and behaviors better. This would involve setting up cameras and other tracking equipment near the suspected routes the creature used. The team also decided to increase their night patrols in the area using night vision equipment to try and catch real-time movements, which could offer direct insights into the creature's nightly activities. Is the creature from Expedition Bigfoot just a hoax, or is there something more dangerous out there? Tell us what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.